What's going on, everybody? This is JMO, back for the second episode. I can't even believe I'm saying it, honestly. But in today's episode, we'll be shooting the In the Bag episode, basically, of what's in my bag. Basically, and this is the permanent bag. I know I did something on my Instagram, basically showing you what is in my bag, but it wasn't a permanent one. So, but this one is what I'm consistently keeping in the bag. Some discs might change, but it's going to be the same mold of disc, basically. So, let's get on into the in the bag video. Let's go. Alrighty, everybody. Here we are for the in the bag. I'm here at Oliver Park in Clear, Alabama, my home course, and I'm doing the in the bag. So we're going to start off basically with putters, go to mids, and drivers. We're going to do three separate little things there. But like I said, we're going to start off with my putters. Starting off is my putting putters for this year. If you saw in the last video, I kind of showed them off a little bit. But there are Voodoos, disc in the dark Voodoos you see there. And when I was originally before I kind of got the confirmation of me being on Gateway, I was like, I need a putter. And if I'm going to be part of this team, whether I was part of it or not, I still want to try Gateway putter because, but the only one I've ever tried was the Wizard. So I was like, hey, let's try something else, and kind of made it work. And I was like, hey, let's go with the Voodoos. And then from Adam from Galactus, another one of my big sponsors this year, basically was like, hey, I've got Voodoos, and then I was like, hey, can I have them? And yeah, and I kind of like the white with the red on it and stuff like that. So it's very, very cool there. Then I've got my, I know you saw last week, this was was one of my favorite discs, and still very happy with this. It's been one of this, I think, out of all the discs in my bag, I think right now this is the longest one in the bag. And so very happy to have this one. Brody, of course, is obviously one of my favorite disc golfers, and this is honestly this is my kind of a approach disc where if I need an overstable approach, rarely throw this thing off the tee, so I'm more kind of forehanding it, and then maybe a backhand approach most of the time, but it really just depends there. Now we're going to open up the bag, and I'm going to show you. I've got a lot of throwing putters. Because with my arm speed, with the way it is, it's one of those things where honestly throwing putters are probably the best thing for me. And so I was like, I have a good bit. So I'm going to start from kind of understable, kind of mixed in, and then go to my more overstable options. Starting off is another one of my approach putters is the Trashman Intercore, or Intercore, not Ender. But this one, it was dyed by Adam from Galactus. He tried to do kind of a Wonder Bread foil because that's one of my favorite foils, and I used to deliver the Wonder Bread. So I told him like, hey, I want the logo, and I wanted to try it. He tried it, but honestly, he tried his best, and I'm not doubting him for it. It still kind of looks sick with the logo, and you can kind of see the yellow, red, and a little bit of the blue on the outside of it. But this one I used to throw off the tee, but I primarily throw this one for upshots now. I used to have a polecat in my bag, but I was like, this and the polecat pretty much did the same thing for me. So I was like, well, you got to have one of my biggest sponsors on there. So I kind of just primarily use this for backhand approaches now. For maybe not an overstable approach, it's kind of just a straight kind of I need to get it out type thing. So love this disc. And so yeah, then the next one is one. I know I say I putt with them, but this one I got from my team allotment, from Team Gateway allotment, and I threw this one, and because this one is diamond plastic, and then these are super glow plastic, or super glow SS, or glow SS, and I was like, hey, I need a good throwing putter, and this one is dead straight with like a little bit of a turn to it, but mostly just kind of just almost dead straight. As long as, of course, you'll hear me say a lot throughout this YouTube channel that I say straight a lot, but sometimes it doesn't always mean anything. But whenever I can get a straight shot, this is normally kind of my option for it. And like I said, I love the Voodoo, and also because it's also cool to have the little Team Gateway stamp on it there as well. Then the next one is I have two shamans in the bag. I know the one that you saw in last week's episode ended up taking out of the bag because it kind of flew like this one. And I've got this one that's a little bit more understable. So this, I'm going to talk about this one first. Adam from Galactus, another, like I said, already one of my sponsors, is partnered with Gateway. So when I kind of came down to it, I was like, I love the shaman. Like I said, the one that you saw last week was my primary throw one, and then like I fell in love with this one. It it's a glow. It's a glow kind of metal flaky shaman. And I like I said, I love this thing. It's pretty much, if I can get it straight, it's going to straight with a little bit of a turn to the right and then kind of come back. But it's honestly primarily one of my go-tos since I got it, and I love it on a forehand. It's a really good disc basically. And then this one, like I said, I got from my team allotment um, thing. This is the Diamond Shaman. It's the same one as the one that I had the last time, but this one is a bit more understable than the other one. And so I was kind of like, I was like, hey, I want an understable shaman, and then went with this one. And so, like, you've got kind of straight with a slight turn shaman, and then you've got the understable shaman. So I love those. And then this one is honestly probably one of my new favorites. It's a Prism Proton Envy from Eagle McMahon, who just joined Team MVP. This thing is really it's like almost straight, but with a good finish to the end. And if I put this on any hyzer, it's going to hold that angle. Love this thing. Then the next one is a fairly new one to my collection, and love it a lot. It is a Devil Hawk with the Caleb Bryant stamp. He's got a lot of sponsors. He's also a Team Galactus member, so shout out to Caleb and Adam there. But this thing is really overstable. This one almost complements my zone in a major way, but I love this thing on a backhand. Forehand is okay. It basically is like the zone. It's just in this NXT, like kind of NXT plastic, and this thing is amazing. So if you want a good gateway disc for overstability, this is the one to go with. But yeah, that's my putters. We're now going to head on into the mid ranges. Alrighty, so we just got done with the putters, and now we're into mid ranges. I don't have many, so this one honestly will not take as long. But I've got four. I've got four mid ranges. I used to bag only three, but since joining Team Gateway, I have fallen in love with the Element. Honestly, probably one of my favorite Gateway molds besides the Shaman. And then, but I love it. It's a very, very good disc. Honestly, I wish I could only bag Elements and Shamans and then Voodoos as well, but it just wouldn't work that way. Honestly, if you only bagged those molds, it would not really work that well. But The first one is my Dark Horse Meteor. This thing, when I originally got it, I mainly got it because it had Brody's stamp on it and it looked pretty cool. And it's got like a little, I don't know if you can tell, but it's kind of got a little camouflage in it. It's kind of hard to tell on camera. I'm even looking at it while I'm recording it. But it's a very cool disc. Like I said, big fan of Brody, so it kind of works out. This thing, when I throw it, it's going straight, and then it will glide to the right. It does not want to fight out. So, um, yeah, this thing is just it's money. If you want a good understable disc, the Meteor um, is a good one. And there's a bunch of others that are good understable ones, but this one, with it being 5.5 -3.1, it's not nearly as like it's going to turn over a lot. So because that one fade on it really kind of complements that, where it's not gonna immediately burn over to kind of go into a roller. It's going to be more, hey, I'm gonna kind of fight out of it type deal. So love this for my understable option. And then my elements. So I'm currently bagging two. This one right here, I know you probably saw me throw it on hole 4 at Montevallo last week. Um, Kind of shanked it into the right if you want a good memory of it. But this one, like I said, I got in my team allotment. You can see the cool looking bronze team stamp there. And got this one. I was originally bagging a super grip one, which is it kind of feels like my Devil Hawk that I have in the bag, but it's a little bit more grippier. Hence the name Super Grip. But I very much like that one. But when I got this one, I specifically requested a clear Shaman with just the team stamp on here. And you talk about a straight disc. This thing does not. It's not understable. This thing is. If I get it flat, this thing is straight. Very very much love this disc. Honestly, like even let's say next year I'm not part of Team Gateway anymore, I will still probably bag an element. Honestly, I like it more than a Buzz and a Hex. And I'm not even saying that because I'm part of the team. This thing is, and the diamond plastic is amazing. The next one is also, like I said, also an element. And the glow plastic, I had this one dyed by Adam from Galactus. This thing, it looks really cool in the kind of, I don't know if you can really, but like when it flies, like you can kind of see it's already kind of spinning there. But this one, it's kind of like the element, but this one, it's really straight, and then it turns to the right a little bit, but it kind of comes back. So it's got some understability to it. Probably as the more it beats in, it'll probably turn into the element, or not the element, the Meteor. But as of right now, this one is it kind of complements this one. So you got straight, but you got straight maybe a slight turn. So it's like if you're in a wooded area and you're throwing a shot, this would probably be one that I would pull out to kind of get that straightness with the kind of slight turn to it. But like, look at that. Like that's just when Adam showed me this one, I was like, I had to have it. Like this was just money. And then lastly is kind of my overstable option. Is the I'm blanking on, it's the Prism Neutron Pyro. I think is what the plastic is, but it's got the Foundation Disc Golf logo there. This one, it's not crazy overstable, but it's somewhat kind of, it's a little straight, but it still has that reliable overstability on it. Where honestly, and this is another one, kind of like how my Envy is. It's kind of straight with that slight or with that reliable overstability. So I'm going to throw this one on a big angle and then kind of have it crash in. So, but I'd always wanted to try a Pyro, and then when I saw this one, I was like, well, I'm a big Foundation supporter. That's hence why it's on my bag here. Um, I was like, hey, I kind of wanted to have it, so I was like, I got it, and then fell in love with it. So it was like, yep, cool. So, but yeah, um, that's kind of my mid ranges. Don't really have many. I know some people like. I know some people that bag like 3. I know some that bag 4. I know some people that probably bag 5 or 6. Because they might have like 2 pyros, 3 elements, and just for example, and then like 2 meteors. Like I know some of the pros, they probably bag 2 or 3 different, or 2 or 3 of the same molds in mid ranges, just for situations that like you never truly know. Um, but yeah, but that is my mid ranges. We're now going to head on into um, kind of one of the last final sections, and talk about my drivers. So let's get on into it. All right, so now we're on to the big boys. Got my drivers. Let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drivers. Um, I used to kind of, I had a bad habit of bagging like 13s, 12s, discs that I really could not throw at the time, and they were all like max weight discs. Like they weren't, I wasn't meant to be throwing them basically, and so I had talks with Robbie C. I went on his In the Bag podcast that him and All Business Brad, a foundation, puts on, and they kind of really said, take the, like I said, I had force in the bag, I had a machete in the bag, really overstable disc, and they kind of wanted me to throw lighter weight discs. They were like, hey, throw some slower speeds to start off, and after that little talk that I was on there, I'll probably leave a link in the description to that video. If I don't, just message me and I'll get it to you. But I was very happy to be part of it. But after that talk, I was like, okay, I took all the 10s and above out of my bag for a little while. And then I was like, hey, let's put them back. Let's start slowly putting them back in the bag. And that's kind of what I did. And then since my form is finally starting to get to where I can get more consistency, I was like, okay, let's do this. So I'm going to start kind of from understable to kind of a overstability option that I've got here. Starting off with the Gateway Spear. It's got Galactus logo there. This thing is almost straight. It's not like really, really straight, but it's got some straightness out of it. But this is primarily like straight with a slight turn to the right. Um, and before you say this is not Adam from Galactus, this is my die. Not I was okay with it, but I was looking more kind of like I got kind of what I wanted out of it, but I'm still new to dying. This dying. At some point, I am going to do like a little dying episode on here, but it's gonna be a while. I've got to get a lot of stuff to go with it, um, but yeah. But this disc is with the numbers 9, 6, -2, 1. I've got another spear that I had in the bag for a little bit, but it started to get way too flippy. And then I had this one already in the bag, and this one's kind of straight with a slight turn, so it kind of complements the next guy, which is the Gateway Assassin. You probably saw me throw this on hole 1. Had the longest shot on hole 1 at Montevallo that I ever have. I've never thrown it past the basket. I've either landed short or about like really, really short, or just short enough where I could have easily gotten a birdie. But so this one, it kind of, like I said, the spear kind of complements this one. This one's like, I think 9, 6, -1, 1. So fairly close in numbers here, but these two are kind of like buddies almost in my bag. So very happy with that one. The next one is my Lone Star Disc Guadalupe with Galactic Disc logo. Um, he told me, because I was looking for, like, I wanted to have kind of like a team disc for him, and I was like, hey Adam, I want to kind of have a team Galactus disc, and he didn't have any. He didn't have like how Gateway has their little logo there. That he didn't have anything like that. So I was like, hey, how about you put your logo on this disc that I'll give you? And of course, being him, like him kind of being more known for glow disc, I was like, hey, let's put kind of your logo on there on a glow disc. So I got this disc. I mainly got it to be a wall hanger, like just hanging on my wall and stuff like that. But I got it. I started throwing this thing, and I fell in love with it. And so now this one is really straight, but with a kind of a slow fade. It's not an overstable kind of boom kind of fade. It's going to be kind of a little slow kind of pan out fade. So love this disc. The numbers are 76 -22. Love this thing. Also very happy to have Adam's logo on there. The next one, I have two of these. I'm going to save the second one for last because honestly, probably one of my favorite um, little things I have on a disc ever. But the first one is a Fission Wave. This is a lightweight one. I got it out of a used bin and threw it at one of my first tournaments of the year at the Frozen Peaks Championship. And this thing, you talk about straight. Well, I've had it beat in just a little. And this thing, it's like it will be on a hyzer and it flips up to flat and keeps pushing straight. And I love this thing. So I'm falling in love with this one. And it's been kind of one of my primarily go-to discs in my bag. But the next one kind of complements it a little bit. And yeah, if you know Sesame Street, you're going to love this one. It's another wave, but with a Cookie Monster wave on it. I love this thing. When I saw it online, I was like, I had to get it. And of course, with me throwing waves now, like I said, you've got this one, which is a little bit lighter. This one's a little bit heavier than this one is, but this one is really straight. And I feel like once I beat this one in, it's going to turn into this one, and then I'll kind of have a little decision of which one to throw in the bag. I've got another one at home that kind of flies like this one, so I've kind of got like three kind of to kind of back them up. But loving the wave. Couldn't be happier with it and stuff like that. So the next one I got at the Rail Yard Rumble at the end of last year in December, that Dynamic Iron City put on. They actually put it on in these, like they had set up holes around the city of Calera, and man, it was probably one of the best tournaments I've ever played in. I've never played it's called Urban Disc Golf, where they set up baskets around the city and stuff like that. And like I said, I fell in love with this thing. And at first, it kind of was a little straight with kind of an overstable finish. But then this thing started to really get flippy on me. And so now I'm primarily like, when I'm out on a course, if I need, like, if the basket's on the right, but I don't trust my forehand, well, I'm going to pull this thing out and put it on some anhyzer, and it's going to hold that angle and pan out. Like, it's going to be like this, and then kind of come out at the last minute. And like I said, it's a Lucid Maverick. And like I said, I love this thing. If anybody out there has another one of these and they don't want it, I'll gladly take them. But like I said, I love this thing. It was one of those ones that I was kind of unsure about. I thought it was just going to be like, hey, I got another tournament disc. I don't know if I'll keep it or not. And then I started throwing it and I fell in love with it. So it's kind of just one of those ones there. The next one is kind of getting into more of that overstable. I only have two overstable discs. The next one is the Gateway Ninja. I'd never thrown this one. All the other Gateway discs that I have in my bag, I have thrown before. But this is one that I didn't know, I don't know if you can tell, but it's got a cool little thing on the rim there. And this thing, it feels really good in the hand. If you've ever thrown a Discraft Undertaker, it kind of flies like that, kind of straight with a good, like it kind of pushes straight, but has a good overstable finish on the end. Um, like I said, this is their diamond plastic, but I have a lot of diamond plastic disc, but this, like, I don't like, you got the plastic there, and then it's weird. I don't know what the rim's going on. If any Gateway people can kind of tell me like why that is. I'm still kind of fairly new to this one, but have fallen in love with it. It's, I think, 10.5 -1.2, and this thing is amazing. Um, yeah, and then the last disc of this episode, and then I'll kind of go more in depth about my bag and like go a little bit more information about it. But the last one is the Innova Firebird. This thing is very overstable. Um, Adam from Galactus gave me this one, and like I said, this is the Nate Sexton Firebird. This, like, the Nate Sexton Firebirds are kind of hard to get your hands on, especially some of the newer ones and the April Fool's one. If you haven't seen the April Fool's one, it's hilarious. And Nate Sexton actually he tried to draw the Firebird as best as possible, and they kind of slapped it on there for April Fool's joke, and people loved it. So don't have one of those, but this one is, like I said, really overstable. This is the one, like, if I need an overstable shot to kind of hang out and come back, this is the one that I'm going with. So um but yeah, that's pretty much it. Now I'm gonna talk about more of the bag and then kind of do a little outro there. So let's get on into it. Alrighty, so we got done talking about the disc. Now I'm going to talk about like my little accessories that I've got here, and then the bag itself. Starting off with the bag itself, it's basically the Atlas Pioneer V3. Very happy. It's got good sides to it, to where it's kind of easy to get disc out from the sides. Um, and like I said, Robbie C's got one that's supposed to be coming out. I think, I could be wrong, but I think in the summertime, maybe a little after. But it's going to be like a red and black concept. So I know I've experimented with other discs and stuff like that, but I think as of right now, this is going to be my bag of choice for probably a long time, because it's a good, reliable bag. It's not, and no, it doesn't have the sturdiness that most like grip bags and all other, but it's a good, reliable bag. And then Atlas itself is just a good, reliable company. So but yeah, like I like this because, like I said, it's got good sides here. It's easy to get the disc out when you got a full bag in there, and it just makes up for it. And so I'm very happy with that. Um, Now I'm going to kind of go into the little accessories, and then I'll kind of give in depth about these little patches up here and stuff like that. The first thing is a little flight towel here that's got a little fob on the end of it. I originally got a Wraith fob because that's what I was throwing at the time. So I was like, but now that, since I'm not throwing it, but it's still a good kind of get your arm warmed up type thing. Like I can actually show you kind of just to get your arm warmed up, like especially if like there's a little backup on a course or something. It's just one of those ones that it's good to have something like that. And it's also good for like little spots for your keys and stuff like that. Um, got another little dry bag here, kind of with some cute little dogs on it, stuff like that. Got another flight towel here with Robbie C's logo, kind of a little. I need to kind of wipe off, like get some water, or dirt, or mud, or something like that off the back, off my disc, or something like that. Um, then I've got my Atlas rangefinder. Very, very cool. Um, it's the Scout. Yeah, the Scout. Very good rangefinder. It's not your typical golf rangefinder. It's more like if you wanted to look through it and see like uphill distance, like it might say 300 feet uphill, or on an uphill shot, but like you look at it, it's like, oh, it's really like, I don't know, but good reliable one there. So got that. Then over here I've got my little chalk pouch where it's got little it's got a chalk bag on the inside of it, and it kind of holds it, and where kind of get a little bit more grip on your hand. So if I wanted to, like I got my Firebird, if I wanted to, like I can slap some on here instead of having the dry bag like this. I just go like this for some of those things and get some good grip on it. But I use that to kind of just keep my hand, and like it lasts a whole round. Normally I don't have to stick my hand back in there for quite some time. Another towel, like always got things like that just to kind of complement each other. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Then the patches up here, like I've got Robbie C, I got Brody here to kind of commemorate the two people that got me into the sport, and kind of go from there. Got Foundation here that kind of is the big company that I support, that also kind of makes the it's like Atlas and Foundation are kind of the same company, but really they're two separate ones. They also make the Scout and stuff like that. So you got them, and of course you got my Galactus, my first sponsor, and hopefully be part of his team for a long time, and always have him on my bag. And this one right here in the center, my little cousin Emma. So hi Emma, if you're watching this. This is the one that she got me, or technically my aunt and uncle got me for Christmas. And I was like, hey, I'm going to put this on my bag. And yeah, it was like, until I find something else, that's going to be kind of my centerpiece, because if you know Emma, she's the sweetest little thing. And it was like kind of, it said to John Michael from Emma. And I was like, that's going to be my centerpiece there. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it for my little in the bag video. Yeah. So now let's go to the outro. Alrighty, everybody. So that was my in the bag video. I'm hoping you enjoyed. If you want to leave your, like, maybe some of the discs that you saw that that you might have in the bag, so maybe we can kind of work some stuff out and talk about it and stuff like that, leave it down in the description. So please like, comment, subscribe to this channel. But before we go, I'd like to shout out my sponsors, of course, at Gateway Disc Golf, big sponsor there this year. If you want to use JMO DG421, you can go use that at Gateway's website. There will be a link down in the description to all my sponsors here. But big sponsor there. And then Galactus, you can use JMO10 at checkout on Galactus website and save some money there. Then you got T-Box socks. You can use a special code that I've got. Just message me on my Instagram, and of course I'll get all that out to you. And then the last one, certainly not least, is Iron City Disc. Happy to be sponsoring them, one of the big teams that I've been part of, and like I said, happy to be part of them now. And you can use Lowry 2024 at checkout on IronCityDisc.com and save some money on their website. And then, of course, just give you a little shout out if you go to their stores, and we'll make it all work. So make today great for somebody else, because you never know what they're going through. You never know what a hi, hello, I love you, or anything like that can mean to somebody. So just make today great for somebody else. And then with that being it for today, this has been JMO, and I will see y'all on the course.